Welcome back to the show today, Cheryl. It's a pleasure to have you.
It's great to be here, June.
Thank you. Well, to begin, tell our viewers a little bit about your education and your background.
Sure. I'm a home economist by training. Now, lots of folks may not even know what a home economist is anymore. Today, they call them family consumer sciences.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Home economics, and I've been in the field for about 33 years.
Wow.
Well, that's scary. And right now I work for the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Service, and I am one of their food safety people. I work in the Family Consumer Science Department. My primary responsibility is food safety. I work a lot with restaurant owners and restaurant managers to teach the Serve Safe class for restaurant folks. I spend a lot of time teaching folks in the summer food preservation, but just general food safety is my field.
That's interesting. And today we want to focus on food safety because it's summertime. And, you know, things, well, I don't have to tell you, things tend to spoil quicker in the summer, I believe. And I know it's a really important topic with picnics and outside cookouts and all those things.
Well, it's important year-round, but it does seem to come a
little
more in the foreground in the summer because people are taking food places. They're taking them to the beach. They're taking them on picnics, and it's hotter outside, and that makes a difference too.
Yeah.
So we like to talk about food safety during the summer.
Well, good. That sounds
June,
great.
I'm going to flip this on you a little bit.
Oh, no.
I'm going to ask you questions instead of you asking me questions.
Okay.
Does that go good?
Okay,
we'll start with I've got some listed here. Let me see what I can do. Let's start with after meat and poultry is cooked. You know,
Okay.
like maybe fried chicken or barbecue. Is it safe to leave it at room temperature?
I'm going to say no.
Good.
Really?
Yes.
But I can remember my mom saying, oh, you have to wait till it cools before you can put it in the refrigerator.
Right. Yeah, I've heard that from lots of grandmas and moms.
Yeah.
The rule of thumb is 2 hours at room temperature. After that time, the bacteria starts to multiply. Now, when it's 90 degrees outside, shorten that a little bit to 1 hour at room temperature. And we're talking, you know, at a picnic, you have fried chicken sitting out.
Yeah.
This also applies to the rest of the year with things like pizza.
Pizza?
Yeah,
No.
you don't want to let it sit out for more than 2 hours.
Oh,
Just
God.
because it's cooked doesn't mean it's not doing anything. That
Oh,
bacteria starts
okay.
to multiply again.
I learned something there.
Now back to your mom.
Okay.
Okay, now when my grandma was growing up, they had ice boxes. I mean, for
Yeah,
real ice
for
boxes
real
with
ice
ice in
boxes.
it. And if you did put a really hot something in that
Oh,
ice
yeah,
box,
it would
it
melt the
would
ice.
melt it. But she also probably didn't have central heat either. You know, so she would put it in the cool part of the house, allow it to cool a little bit, and then get it in the ice box.
But when you have a Frigidaire,
Right.
you don't need to do that any longer, right?
You don't think to, but that was why Grandma let things cool. You need to, you know, they don't want to be boiling hot because that would make the rest of the refrigerator hot. But you don't want them to let them sit out for several hours.
Right.
2 hours is really the rule of thumb.
Great. You got another one?
I got another one. What about mayonnaise? Do you think adding mayonnaise to food increases its chance of food poisoning or lessens the chance?
It probably increases it.
And that's another one Grandma taught us that's probably wrong.
Really?
Yeah, I got some mayonnaise here, but when was the last time you made for real mayonnaise?
Never.
Never? Okay. If you've ever made for real mayonnaise, I'm starting from the very beginning where you have a raw egg and you whip oil into the raw egg. Setting that definitely would be a food poisoning or a food safety risk because you've got a raw egg sitting at room temperature.
Okay.
When you buy a commercially prepared mayonnaise or a salad dressing, start looking at the ingredients. And in all of these, there's some sort of acid. In this one, it's distilled and cider vinegar. Okay, that acid actually helps inhibit the bacteria from growing.
Really?
So it's when people say, let's put the potato salad away because of the mayonnaise, or let's watch that macaroni salad or that slaw. The mayonnaise isn't the bad guy. It's the chicken that's in the salad, the egg that's in the salad. Those things are really potentially hazardous foods, and sitting them at room temperature, again, more than 2 hours or an hour when it's 90 degrees outside, is the risk. Now, I don't want you to say, I got mayonnaise in there, it's got vinegar, it's safe. You don't use this
Right.
as a crutch. But mayonnaise is not the bad guy.
Okay.
Unless you're making your own from raw eggs.
Forget that.
All right, all right.
That
okay.
ain't gonna happen.
Okay, let me see. Hard cooked eggs.
Okay.
They're great to take on a hike, maybe take them to the beach, because they don't need to be refrigerated.
I think they do need to be refrigerated.
They do. And I got an egg here too. I brought it in my cooler today just to keep. The rule is the same for things like eggs. The shell here is porous.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
still, the heat is still going to get in there, the bacteria is still going to get in there, it is still going to actually multiply.
So it's probably not a good idea at Easter time to color your eggs and let them sit in a pretty bowl.
Right, it's not.
And lots of people do that.
Or hide them and then find them tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
No, 2 hours is the rule for Easter eggs too.
Okay.
Okay. How about dirt and pesticides should be removed from fresh fruits and vegetables by washing them in soap and detergent?
I think I know they should be rinsed, but I don't know about soap and detergent.
Just water.
Oh, see, I'm not as dumb as I thought.
No, I told you you do well. Lots of fresh, running, clean water. Not all soaps are I don't want to say edible, but you know, they're
Yeah,
not
I know
like
what you're
food
saying.
quality, food grade. Don't put soap on it. The only time you would ever want to think about even putting soap on something would be perhaps like a melon. You know how melons have dirt sometimes
Oh,
on them from the
yes.
field? You could
Yeah, they
scrub
do.
that with a little bit of soap, and then when you slice through it, you're not getting the dirt from the outside onto that
Yeah,
good.
the grit into there, yeah.
But that's because you're not eating the rind. You don't eat the melon rind.
Tell me something, will you come back?
I would love to. It's fun.
Because there's so much more to talk about. I would love to have you back. This
We
has
can
been
do
so
it.
much fun. I loved it. But before we wrap up, are there any resources that we can point our viewers toward for more information?
Well, there's lots and lots of great things on the internet these days.
Well, sure.
U.S. Department of Agriculture, U.S. Food and Drug Administration have lots of food safety kinds of things. Or you can always call the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Service. Our office here in Brunswick County is at the Government Center.
The Government Center? Well, great. Well, thanks again, Cheryl, for coming on the show today. It's been such a pleasure. I've learned a lot.
Well, good.
And I look forward to seeing you again.
Would love to do it.
Thank you.